Hello, everybody. Welcome to this new, interesting podcast that we're trying here. The Pilot Highlander podcast, according to this spreadsheet.
Yeah.
My name is Hammock. I'm an engineer main. I play for TC Frosties, and I am a gimmick lord.
Do you want me to do my bit?
Yeah. This is when you do your bit.
I'm Woolen, and I main NG, and I'm a gimmick lord as well. I'm better than Hammock, so I'm much cooler.
Wait, that's a disguise.
Aha, no, not really. Spy.
It's funny because he's a spy,
No,
so he's disguised.
it's not. No, it's awful.
Yeah.
Fuck, let's just trash this show. Let's burn it.
I mean, you could.
Let's carry
Can we
on.
make a better podcast?
You can
Hammock?
like.
I mean, that's a significant improvement already.
Yeah.
But I won't allow
Or
it.
the Scrambled cast.
Yeah, like I take it you could just reshoot these if you like.
No, leave it in.
Let's carry on. It's
this
funny.
is completely
Edgy.
unedited. Right, okay.
The kids will love it.
I'm Scrambled. As I've written here, me heavy main. Me played heavy quite a bit, and that's pretty much all I've done is I've played heavy. I played like Premiership, and I also like to discuss whitelist issues and all that sort of stuff on the forums quite a bit. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm Zamparonie. I'm the main leader and main medic for Open
And
Squad.
I am an
I don't have a
alcoholic.
main class. I scream sometimes like Hitler.
I
Nice.
think you've seen that name.
Okay, this is off to a great start already. Ignore that last statement.
You can edit that bit.
So this podcast is basically so that anytime there's any significant Highlander changes, EU Highlander, because that's what matters, we're going to talk about the changes that happen, how they impacted the games we have played, because we're all Highlander players. It's not like we're just sitting back on a forum pretending that we know how Highlander is actually played. No, we play it, so we know how it works.
Unfortunately.
So we have an NG, a heavy, a kind of pyro medic, and heavy whatever person, and a spy. So we should have a decent mix here.
The spy
So
main that we've got, Willen, has played engineer, he's played pyro, I think it's scout.
I played
Premiership
2
level.
seasons
Yeah.
of Class as Pyro with the
Yeah.
yeah, if you have
so-
all your hours on one class, like that's not
Yeah, but I mean,
I have like
Willen can
500
play
hours on
multiple
Pyro, like
classes at
1400 on Spy.
like a top Premiership level.
Yeah.
My lowest hours is like 300 on Scout.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
Get a hobby.
Scout requires aim. What am I meant to do with that?
Play Quake Life.
No, I'm not
True.
playing Reflex.
Oh.
Okay, so already tangenting. Coming back,
Right, okay.
this is going to be specifically talking about the ETF2L map test cup, whatever the fuck it's called.
Vigil.
Experimental Cup.
Experimental Cup before the preseason 12.
Pre-season
Highlander.
cup, man.
Yeah, a mouthful. And the main points are the map payload vigil, which is very silly. I did a video of it.
Spoilers.
The link is on the video now. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. And
Jesus.
Jesus. And the whitelist changes of the unbanning of the red tape recorder, the Diamondback, the short circuit, and the airstrike.
Yeah, the airstrike. Forgot about that. I
Yeah,
haven't seen anyone use
I
it.
mean,
I've seen one person use it, and he didn't do very much work
Middles
with
used it, but that's
This
just
is
because I
a
told him to,
conversation
and then
for
he got a
later.
medic drop with it, so it's
Yeah.
great.
Spoilers,
Yeah.
Hammock.
So, okay, let's just go into the red tape recorder, and I'd like to hear your guys' opinions on how it affects
You want
Highlander.
me to start? Because I'm the spy.
Yeah,
Well, it's really bad, and I don't think anyone's going to use it. It was good for a bit, remember? Like, when you could kill minis with it, but, like, I think they got rid of that. I think I talked to someone, maybe like Johnny from California or some American, and they said it was, like, really glitched.
you mean arts?
It might be nuts, whatever. He said that there was still some glitches with it where it, like, crashes servers. I don't think I've seen anyone use it in the last, like... When was the Hero Long Heater update that came out in? It's like 3 years ago. I've seen like 2 people use it, so I don't think it's, like, makes no difference.
That was when Hulong Heater came out with the Koth King.
Yeah.
The art.
Like the
They
flying
called it the
guillotine.
Heatmaker
and
as
the,
well, and they had
red
to
tape.
rename it.
Yeah, then they had to change it.
They the point that was brought up in the discussion thread on ETF2L with the red tape recorder is that it's a downgrade insofar as if you're taking out a building on your own, it's worse. However, if you sap a gun with it, it disables it for longer than the sapper does when it's removed. And it means that you can. It means that because obviously it has to rebuild.
Does it really take longer to come back? I thought they were all the same.
Yes.
And it means that you can't heal it.
I need to test this. I had no idea.
So
basically, as an engineer, if a spy saps your teleporter or your dispenser, which usually take, like, a dispenser generally takes, like, if you don't wrench it, it'll take like 20 seconds to build on its own. It will take about that long to die if you don't, like, interact with it. So if a spy, like, so with mini sentries, I believe it's about 10 seconds for it to die from a sapper. It has
like 100 health,
which is very long.
And the sapper does like 2 damage a second or something.
So say you're playing like one flank side of a King of the Hill map with spamming mini sentries, and then you're forced to rotate to another side. If a spy then red tapes the sentry, and then the team doesn't follow up and destroy the sentry, you are then denied from building another mini sentry for that full 10 seconds, which is very strong.
I thought they changed it. Like, originally it was a side grade to use on King of the Hill, because it made minis like more fun to play against, like the NG had to wrench it. I thought they changed it, so it doesn't do that anymore. Or does it still do that? Like, could you still just run it on King of the Hill to make minis more?
Yeah, it's very strong King of the Hill.
Okay, that's quite cool.
It's also, since in high level, a lot of times...
Just shoot the mini twice anyway.
A spy going in for like a stab on the NG and then sapping the gun isn't always as reliable. It's more of like the spy goes in for the sap and then the bomb comes in.
Yeah, the team shoots and stuff.
Yeah, sort of to deny the Wrangler or the Rescue Ranger. And with the red tape recorder, it disables the gun for longer, because if you sap the gun and then
it delevels,
the NG breaks the sapper, it delevels, and when the gun levels up, it has like a frame of animation where if you hit it with a wrench, it doesn't do anything.
Oh, what, really?
So if you red tape a gun, it then takes a rocket worth of damage. The red tape gets taken off. The gun is still building itself back up to level 3, and in that frame, you can't repair it, so a second rocket can hit it, and it'll take more damage.
Oh, so it's really glitched.
Yeah, so like
I don't think
the timing.
I don't think
either it de-levels to level 2, or if it's still on level 3, there's a duration where you can't actually repair it, and it could be destroyed.
I think I need more time actually using it. Like,
from what I understand, from the points that were made, I didn't see it, but the point in use, but the points that were made on the forum was that it's better for coordinating with teams, but it's worse for doing anything on your own.
But this is Team Fortress 2 in the Highlander scenario.
A good example of a situation where, an example on King of the Hill, where you would think, disabling the engineer's minis, you're obviously going to want to run the red tape recorder, is that it takes much longer to take out the enemy teleporter.
True.
Yeah.
You can't.
If you like backstab the NG and then sap the teleporter, and then you respawns, you'll respawn in time to break the sapper and then build it
unless
again.
You shoot it.
Well, yeah, but you can shoot it, but surely I'm not sure what the difference is.
I don't know how long you'd want to stay around shooting the telly after getting the kill.
3-shot a telly from any distance. All you have to do is sap it, and while you're running away, shoot it. You just run, jump to keep your momentum, and then shoot behind you, and you won't be any slower.
Okay.
I feel like the red tape recorder is like, it has some points to use it. For example, on King of the Hill, as you already pointed out, for like people that are, for example, the Crazy Boy clan. Sodium is always running a level 3 sentry if it doesn't work quite well for them. And I feel like exactly this is the point where the red tape record could shine, in my opinion. Just get the sentry while the on the one, a level 3 sentry, well protected, stuff like that. I feel like this could be like where the red tape recorder could shine. But I feel like on payload it's just like to bully the engineer.
It's nice to have choice.
It feels like it's nice to have choice, I agree on that. But then like, why don't we have a second PDA for the engineer? Like, same thing,
It's really hard to balance that. Like, the only way they could balance a new sapper would be to make one for King of the Hill and one for everything else. And if that's how it works, then that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like after all, it's a sapper and it just saps guns, you can't... I mean, if you could sap, like,
Sap
heavy
health
with
packs.
it, okay, I would say broken. Get... Exactly, like fucking Overwatch Zombie, or how this thing was called.
I don't like that.
But, like...
Did you say the O word?
I mean, this game is quite good to rely on a bit, It's like preference
fun
and
to play
stuff like that. I mean, we see it just. Well, I don't
No,
know
it's in like, is it fun to play against someone sapping your health pack? If there's everyone's complained about it, they would have removed it, and I don't think anyone cares.
Yeah, but I think like on TF2 people are way more sensible a bit about that, and even we have less engineers than sniper and spy. I mean, this is nothing new to the entire TF2 scene of Highlander.
It's a shit class.
It has its moments. Yeah, it has. So I would rather say like, if the red tape recorder goes live, we need to give the engineers some kind of toy where they can like shine for themselves, you know. So
is that
exactly
where
like,
you're coming into the short circuit?
I would compare. I would like rather if you give a class that gets like a new unlock. I would rather say the class that it's supposed to counter, and like an engineer is like the work of the spy, you know. But this goes on and on and on. Like if the engineer gets countered by the spy better with the red tape, why can't is the engineer not allowed then to have like a new like way to counter the demo man, for example, you know? To get like
almost like the next.
Well, that's
like making things more. Like I mean, at that point of the line, if we're going on with this, like we can just disable the entire world and just play like a Volvo pipe with 12v12. I will be honest. But
okay,
like, I feel like engineer is.
Let's try and like pull this back a bit. So okay, we can go on for hours about whether every class can individually be balanced.
I wish the engineer had a weird unlock that they were testing. Was it yellow?
I mean, I'd personally be fine if they banned every single engineer weapon because stock engineer is the best. But that's not going to happen.
A festive pistol.
Unless we have a stock Highlander Cup, which would be
the demos
great.
Would love it.
Then Hammock would be the only engineer. Like everybody needs a Hammock for that team.
That's my plan. I don't need to be the best engineer. I just need to outlast every other engineer.
Do you want to go on to the short circuit then?
But yeah, okay. So to bring this back, I want all of you to answer. Do you think the red tape recorder should be unbanned this season, or unbanned in general? So, Woolen, should it be unbanned or banned?
If it gets horrible, then ban it again. But let's test it.
Yeah, I feel like a season with testing is what the red tape recorder requires. Like that map test cup wasn't enough to sort of see the full impact of that unlock. I don't.
Yeah, especially since a lot of teams don't actually just fully use them.
Yeah, people that were running it weren't crazy good. They weren't crazy bad. It seemed like a decent side grade. I reckon we should run with it for at least one season.
Okay, Zamp, what's your opinion?
I can agree with most of the part. We should
try it. Have like 8 steps with it.
I personally think we should unban red tape recorder just because it also nerfs NG. I'm okay with that. So we're in agreement that red tape recorder should be unbanned at least for this season, so we can get more information. So next one on my list, because you've added more to this spreadsheet, is we're going to talk about Diamondback.
Okay, yeah.
Stay on the spy topic. Okay, so we'll enjoy the Diamondback.
In the cup, I only saw me and Kazul trying it out. Apparently Kazul did something quite cool with it, and at one point I did something quite cool, but like... Okay, so like, it can't replace the Ambassador. So like on Badwater defense, you want to stay alive and shoot the sniper and shit, so the Diamondback's bad. But on offense, I think twice I backstabbed the demo and immediately just one-shot the medic without really thinking about it, which was a bit silly. Like, he had like 100 health, and I just kind of looked at him and had a free crit. But...
Yeah, I've seen that happen to...
But it takes skill to do that. You have to practice.
Yeah, when it happens with the Ambassador, you think, he just got destroyed.
With the Diamondback, it's, he backstabbed the guy next to me. Yeah. What can I do?
Yeah, I'm dead now.
If it did mini crits, I think it would be perfectly balanced. Like, if he took 70, that'd be fine. But, like, the 102, just, like, it is literally for that, like, the killing combos. It seems a little bit silly, but, like, it was only for offense. I don't know how it would be on other maps. Like, I do more headshots than I do backstabs, significantly more, so it would be way worse for me. But on offense, when it's just, like, a free pick, like, you don't even have to aim, and you can do 100 damage, and then when your team bombs in, you can time it with that, without really thinking about it. So, like...
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be something that's more difficult to deal with in the lower divisions. Because in this division,
everything anyway.
You can just say, you can just backstab some person and get a free, 100. But in this division, that 102 is going to happen a lot more often anyway with the Ambassador. because the spies have become
Yeah.
a lot more practice with the ambassador. They can just hit headshots all the time.
The whitelist has to
So
be balanced with the
Diamondback
lower
might not be
divisions as well.
as viable if you can just consistently hit those 102s anyway. You're kind of just gimping yourself by limiting the amount of times you can
I've food for
headshot
thought.
anyway. But in lower divisions where you can go around and you can just get free farm on the enemy team, you can then go over and just
Someone gave me a
kill the
thought. They
medic.
said if I sap the teleporter on Badwater and get both exits, I just get 2 free crits, and all I have to do is go into choke and hold down my mouse on the medic, and I could probably kill him.
It'd be interesting to know how many times that second.
The spread is it's like twice the size of the hitbox, roughly at long distance. If you were to wait the extra second and 0.2 whatever, it will be 100%. Yeah, if you stand mid range, if you stand mid range, like if I did that and then invised right next to him, but like at long enough distance, I won't get spy checked. The bullet spread small enough that you could probably kill him. I don't know if it would be that big of a deal though. Like most people could do the same with the ambi.
Yeah, couldn't you argue that if you could have landed those 2 shots from a distance on a medic anyway, couldn't you argue that you would have done that
in
ambi?
The lower divisions where people don't have thousands of hours with like the ambi, a lot of them are like they look for like easy ways to do better, maybe. So a lot of them might like. No, but what I'm worried is a lot of them might just use the Diamondback permanently because it's like really easy.
Yeah, straight upgrade because they can't reliably.
It's basically the soda popper for spy, where it just makes you better at doing what you already do.
If it makes good players worse and worse players better, like I wouldn't say it's overpowered.
Maybe by definition, yeah.
But the Diamondback in all situations.
No, but it makes them worse if they use the revolver. They do more damage with body shots. Yeah,
this diminishing.
I feel
results.
like also if someone used it for like 4 seasons and then they got into Prem and then they suddenly banned it again, they'd be like useless because they'd never practice with anything else. They never practice with a revolver because they're used to doing crits and then hitting them once more.
Yeah, but I mean, if someone's good enough to get into Prem by using the Diamondback, the chances are their aim is good anyway. They're not going to have Diamondback crits. I'm not sure.
I think they should test. I don't think it'll matter. I don't think it'll matter almost at all in Prem. Like some medics might get annoyed if they die once or twice. In low divs, it might be hell though.
Yeah, I think that we aren't the people to answer whether the Diamondback should be allowed or not. I think you'd need to really look at the lower divisions and see.
Then again, I don't think we should be balancing around the lower divisions. We should be balancing around the
also don't make it hell for the lower divisions.
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah, like if top level play should be the first priority, right? And if the Diamondback makes top level play really good, right? We should probably look into it and say, well, that's a great unlock. If like say hypothetically the Crits Krieg was much worse than was much like hell for lower divisions, but really good in higher divisions.
Something you have to grow into.
Really have it unbanned because it adds something to the game. It adds something to the game, but the Diamondback doesn't really add anything to the high division play. It doesn't make any.
It's a snowball weapon. If you're already getting kills, you can just cement your victory. You've got a scout on your team that keeps feeding. I'm going to keep backstabbing him, and I'm going to go and 2-shot your medic.
Dispenser back up outside spawn. You sap that 3 times, and you can kill any class.
Yeah. Like if the higher level players can do these things anyway,
I won't use it.
It doesn't add anything to high level play. So we should start balancing it around lower level players. Obviously, the higher level players still can use it, but it's not going to affect the higher level players as much. So. As we've basically
to play devil's advocate here, what is the difference between the Diamondback and the Frontier Justice?
The spy flanks anyway, so he'll be somewhere where he can pick people off. The engineer is either going to be with his sentry, and if he leaves it, then he's basically just given up a point, or he's flanking for some particular reason. If he gets a flank kill and he's got crits, then that's great. Like no one uses it. It's been up for so long, and like almost nothing good has happened with it. Like some King of the Hill games have been really cool, but that's been fun to play.
Yeah. It's not very often that an engineer, like in the same scenario that we're talking about, where a spy would get into Prem with a Diamondback, and then not, if the Diamondback was banned, they wouldn't be able to play. That wouldn't happen with an engineer. The engineer wouldn't absolutely wreck havoc in a lower division where the Frontier Justice gets to Prem. That's not realistic.
I mean, it's almost as if spy has
they banned the
less
DR
risk.
and make it a lot harder. Yeah.
I would
That's
say
a topic for another day.
if you put both weapons in perspective, like you have a spy that can be invincible, not invincible. Like how's it called? Like he can disguise and stuff like that. Can come behind your team. As an engineer, if you leave your sentry, you need an assist
It's a lot more
correct,
work
to get the crits
and
off
also get
from
the
the mini
positioning.
sentry Hammock, right?
Well, if he's running mini
Exactly,
sentries
And
on
good for him
King of the
for hitting
Hill or
his
High
crits. Why was
CP
that
and he has
person with the
Frontier
crit in his
Justice.
face? You can see the thing from a mile away.
Dude,
This is
that's
the
why
problem,
my
like,
unusual
spy is
shotgun,
way
so
more
people
nice.
think
That's
from
smart.
a distance I've got Frontier Justice crits.
Like this is the problem. Like a spy is way more mobile behind the enemy team. Like an engineer, like will probably get caught out at one
If
point.
he gets
Yeah.
behind the team, he's punishing the team for making a mistake as an engineer.
Exactly, but the spy
Yeah,
is
it's-
supposed to be behind the enemy lines, in my opinion, a bit. You know, like he is free to roam. So I would say save
I want them.
the Justice alright, but I think like the Diamondback, like I think like we
I think they want them to test
underestimating
it,
anyways.
see how broken it is, and then
guaranteed
ban
crits.
it based off of that. Like I
Good.
don't know the last time it was allowed. I don't remember. They tried it like once in UGC and then they banned it or something, didn't they?
Yeah, I think it would. Like I said, I think we should try it. I don't like it, but I think we should try it at the very least. Give it the benefit of the doubt. Get feedback from players in open and mid, and see how the matches are playing, what the spies are using.
Yeah.
I had
and
one
then
final thing.
That
Okay.
make
You know
a
the
decision then.
Razorback?
So
Doesn't the Diamondback make it really easy to kill a 185 Razorback sniper? Because like you don't have to wait the 2 seconds between ambi shots. You don't have to hit loads of shots with the revolver, and you don't have to be near with them. Having 2 Diamondback crits would be a really easy way to counter the Razorback without having to ban it.
True, but if enemy sniper, let's say for Viaduct, stands on rock and his team is supporting him correctly, let's say like the entire enemy combo sits there, as always normally, at the point. Like, even if you pull off one shot, you will like scare the sniper probably off. But I think like when the pyro is running at you and air blasting you, I mean, okay, this comes down to skill as always. But I say like still like the Razorback. Well, this is for the next topic, anyways, I guess.
I can imagine a spy like in product, like running to
And
the
then using it to
spawn,
kill the sniper
sapping
on
the
roll.
telly, or like running into like a house and then sapping the telly,
And this is
and
the
then
next
like
problem. Like
ambying or Diamondback, whatever.
Yeah, you're punishing
an
your
engineer
engineer. If you
shouldn't
keep
get
putting that
punished to
teleporter
build
back
things,
up and the
in my
spy
opinion,
keeps
a bit.
getting it, you're giving him free crits.
Yeah, I
this is
noticed
the problem,
like
in my opinion, why the Diamondback is
I
really
noticed playing
toxic.
Coal Plant, I kept building a telly and it kept getting destroyed. And luckily
If
the
they
spy on
were-
the enemy team wasn't running Diamondback, but like I feel like that's definitely a game sense maneuver. Like noticing that the engineer keeps building something that dies, you can
That'll
be
be
like,
really
oh
fun.
yeah, I'm going to go
But also,
Diamondback
like,
now
really
and just
easy.
farm.
Yeah,
Like this is the
Yeah.
problem.
you're
So-
punishing something that shouldn't be punished.
Okay, so what are your guys' opinions on
Try it for a season.
Diamondback being banned or unbanned for the season? So Scrambled. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Try it for a season.
Keep it out of the game, actually.
Yeah, they're a bit annoying.
Okay.
Crits
I
fun
don't like
though.
guaranteed crits.
I personally think it should be banned just because it's just free farm for like placing stuff, and
Yeah.
a lot of time you can just farm it from teleporters because a lot of time teleporters aren't as useful, but every so often if it's like, oh, the spy's been sapping my teleporter every single time, maybe I shouldn't be building it. I then don't build it for like one wave and I have Moist go, why haven't we got a telly?
Yeah.
This is the
Gotta
problem
respect the
on
heavy mains. Always build a telly for the
we
heavy
can't.
mains.
I think we shouldn't punish. I think there shouldn't be a punishment for an engineer doing their main
Yeah.
job. You know. This is like an engineer is really sensible class in my opinion, so we need to watch out for these special kind of players in my opinion a bit.
Like it's
so
it'll
we
be
don't
interesting to
kill
see.
their little ecosystem.
They'll probably ban it again. I
They
think
kill off
that's
all the
what
end
my
domains 'cause
gut feeling is.
it's a hard time.
Engie mains are an endangered species.
This is the point. Like we shouldn't bully engineers when we have already low. We should start to bully spy mains and sniper mains instead a
Yeah,
bit.
bully
because we
sniper
have
mains, they
plenty
don't
of
pay
them.
attention. Okay,
We have
so
way too much of
next
both.
one, we will go on to
Vomit.
the short circuit. I guess I'll open with this because I guess I've been using short circuit for a long time. I can't remember exactly the season I started
Why did
using
you
it,
use
but I
that when it
remember
was
using
shit?
it back when it was shit and it costed and it costed 35 metal per zap, and each zap was like 1.2 seconds or something. So like, it was really slow. But like, I remember using it specifically on Lakeside because I remember people always ran Crits demo on Lakeside because that was back when like.
Are you talking about budget 2?
When Sticky Jump. This was before Sticky Launcher was like nerfed.
Yeah.
So like, Crit Sticky did like way more damage. So my specific strategy was to just sit on the medic, and then whenever the demo with the crits would just sit back and charge that one sticky and go and then fire over towards your medic, and then and then not hear the hit sound and be like, where did that sticky go? Because it got eaten up by a short circuit and no one knew what the short circuit was because no one used it and they were just like, what the fuck? And I really wish I kept
it's like the medic and drain sound
because really that would be hilarious. But yeah, I used that. And then back in Season 9, I used it with the Thompson because I noticed that in Highlander, Thompson and Short Circuit were both allowed, and no one was using it because no one like considered those weapons outside the pubs.
Did you have fun,
and I'd say I did pretty well with them.
Was that the season that you just won by protecting Flow?
Yeah, because like, Season 9 was like also the season where everyone was playing on TF2 Pickup, rest in peace. And I remember specifically every time I played Engineer on Pickup, I would run Thompson Short Circuit.
It wasn't that long ago. It was like last year.
ETF2L Season 9.
Okay.
Yeah. And
it was the last time it was allowed.
Yeah. And basically I found out the strat of, because I'm a shit engineer in terms of I can't aim, I learned to... I know, it's a surprise, right? Oh, thank God we're not recording. And so I found out to just make a bunch of gimmicks to play as a support around my team. And one of them was that we had Flo on my team, on TC Ambition at the time, who is a really good sniper. And basically my strat was to just sit next to him so he doesn't get killed. So if they sent a spy after him, I have my Thompson and I can fuck up the spy because suddenly he hasn't got his dead ringer. So now he has to participate in the game. And if a soldier decided to bomb, he lost all his rockets and Flo could just air headshot him because Flo was a god. And there was literally no challenge. So I basically played the sniper meta to its fullest potential by dedicating another class to protecting the sniper, and it was very strong. So, enough stroking my ego there. The Short Circuit, basically, it counters, I'd say it soft counters 3 classes, because there are definite ways to kill it, to deal with a Short Circuit NG in Highlander, and a lot of things that people underestimate.
I can't agree with that, with the soft counter, my opinion.
You can Short Circuit Demo Man. It definitely hard counters Demo Man, I should say, actually. You can Short Circuit Soldier, and you can Short Circuit Spy.
I have one really nice example of how autism this Short Circuit thing is, actually.
You can also hold down right click, because left click is worthless, and do 20 damage to a cone in front of you, all the time. I tested this with Scrambled, and you know how the collision holes in the classes where there's like a box that you can bump into? Like you would know this, Woolen. There's a spy, you bump into the corner, the cube. Basically, if you bump the corner of the cube
twice,
facing where the engineer is looking, that's where the short circuit can hit you from.
Basically, if someone is in your field of view, you hit them. That's how much aim this thing requires.
And I don't know if that's the same that it uses for projectiles, but that's what it uses for damage. And that's why I like using Short Circuit, because it's basically a reliable close range damage weapon. It's like pistols for mid to maybe long range, and then Short Circuit is close range, where you hit a shotgun shot, or maybe you miss all 6 of them like I do. And then you go next to a scout who's trying to fight you, and then you just hold down right click and just hope that they die. It's like Symmetra, where you can easily shoot that Indian woman, but if you don't, she'll eventually kill you.
Wait, does it actually do that much damage now?
It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah,
I'm tempted to just rename my Short Circuit to 20. Just how Spice call it 102 when they call it Ambi.
feel like the weapon could be good, but I feel like the engineer will just abuse it to like sit on their mini sentry, crouching
Yeah,
and just like pressing it
um,
down. We have a really nice
yeah,
example from Open Squad. Mid-fight, Galiwash, TK was Merc for Layla. Failer, excuse me. Big doors, TK sits in his mini sentry while it shoots and B spamming it while the thing just gets
yeah.
zapped away.
Like our soldier was trying to fight the engineer with his mini sentry, and on the flank, on 5CP, it's usually engineer, scout, soldier. Those are sort of general flank classes. So the soldier is the one that deals with mini sentries. Soldier can't deal with mini sentries because of short circuit. Scout can't really deal with mini sentries because it's a mini
You
sentry.
could use the
Counter it with a
short
short
stop.
circuit.
Yeah, it's, but that's not really. It's not really realistic, and you can't really leave the flank to go back to spawn to change the short stop to counter. It's not realistic. You can't do that. And in that situation,
There's also this revolutionary idea of
Sitting behind
shooting the
a 100
engineer.
health
the
mini
engineer
sentry.
will just zap it. Yeah,
That he constantly
You can still headshot him.
and, like,
well, you could rotate the sniper there. Actually, you can rotate the sniper to your flank to headshot
I don't know
an
what
engineer.
Highlander you're playing, but Gunspy is a flank class.
Yeah, that's a good point. Spies counter to that.
Whenever I'm
If you're
playing on
gonna-
product, I always see a Gunspy on
But-
concrete or
but-
sitting on cliff, just getting free ambi shots.
but you shouldn't have to dedicate your spy to clearing out a flank that's being held by one player because 3 people can't push it.
Isn't this the argument
Yeah.
with like Dead Ringer Spy that you shouldn't have to dedicate one person to go after a Dead Ringer
I don't
Spy?
have Dead Ring.
Yeah, I'm very against Deadringer anyway. But I guess we're on the short circuit at the moment. Are we going to get into the Deadringer later, or is this not in this?
I mean, we could, but we're already 40
I'm up
minutes
for it.
in.
Right. But yeah, the short circuit has the potential to counter like too much in the game. It's such an annoying, and I know people will argue that an annoying weapon shouldn't be banned, but it's so annoying to play against to the point of it ruining the fun of the game, and that's what everyone plays for at the end of the day.
at least we
At
hope
least we
so.
hope so. For that reason, I don't think it should be allowed. Like it just ruins the flow of the game. It ruins what TF2 TF2 is about: aim and skill. Short circuit just removes that.
Short circuit
Like
ruins the flow.
The thing with like weapon unlocks, they are like cancerous to play against. I know the fun, but like to be honest, we shouldn't like give our community more cancer to counter enemy team. You know, like think about it like that. The extinguisher is still meta. The short circuits are Deadwinger spies. Deadwinger got again buffed or something like that. Who would want to play Highlander in that world?
I mean, the argument, I
I
guess,
mean-
is like freeing up the whitelist so that more pub players can convert to Highlander.
No.
Because
Not even that. It's just like don't make the game like so.
Make it around the
toxic
game, not around the
about, like,
unlocks. The unlocks should be
around
secondary.
weapons. You know,
Right.
we
now
should
then.
like rather.
Now then. Everyone always brings up the argument that if you unlock a weapon, more public players will start to play. I don't think that's the case, especially nowadays. Maybe a couple of seasons ago, like maybe a year or so ago, people would have thought that. And even then, when I was getting into competitive, I did so. I was unique as far as I got into competitive alongside quite a few of my friends. I know a lot of people got into competitive alone. Everyone was excited to have the reserve shooter not being banned. And because the reserve shooter wasn't banned, it really inspired a lot of people to in my friend group anyway. No, because the reserve shooter was banned, it inspired a lot of people to join because they hated playing against the reserve shooter. It was such an awful weapon to play against. No one likes playing against the reserve shooter, or very few people do. And that inspired new players to get into the competitive scene. I don't think in every case an unbanned weapon will mean more people play competitive. I feel like it can be argued both ways, and it's just a personal preference.
I feel like, anyways, the cut from pub to competitive is at the
Circle
moment, in
jerky.
my opinion, way too to like. It's like not even that. Like if you, if you go on ETF, there are a lot of open teams looking for people up, But but now these are people that never played actually in the game, but they already have standards, in my opinion.
The other thing I should probably point out is some unlocks make it much harder for new players to get into competitive.
Diamondback.
Wouldn't even say.
Like if you're up against a team that's absolutely destroying you and you don't know how to play against it, it's a huge learning curve. If there are a bunch of unlocks as well, you need to learn how to counter. A good example of this would be the Beggar's Bazooka. It's when you learn how to counter it, you can counter it just fine. But for a new player playing against a soldier that's using the Beggar's Bazooka and you've never had to deal with it, you will get destroyed. First time I played against Hearts, he absolutely destroyed us, and he made a video about it. This was a high player, not an open player. It's incredibly hard to learn how to deal with new unlocks. Never mind, so if you're learning how to deal with new unlocks at the same time as trying to learn Highlander, that'll make it even harder to get into it as well.
What I always wanted to have on ETF, it would be like instead of only looking for team or looking for people,
Oh, that would be nice.
I would looking for mentor or something, some prem players. Hey, I know there was a cup for it, but that's not enough, to be honest. People joining mid-season something, in ETF as well,
Yeah.
We have so many people that sits on medals and swimming in them. Why don't they share a bit more to the new players in
the
open?
biggest problem that a lot of people have with mentoring, and I know we're kind of going from the topic here, and we should really go back, but biggest problem people have with mentoring, and I've been through this, and I know a bunch of other heavy mains at the very least have been through this, I've talked about it, is that someone will ask you to mentor them, and you'll mentor them. This is a team, this is individual, doesn't matter, and you'll mentor them, and you'll give them all the advice you can, and then they'll just lose interest. I've had it happen, other people I know have had it happen. You'll mentor them, you'll give them all the advice you can, and you'll put in a lot of effort, and then they'll just lose interest. They won't be interested in the game. And when that happens, it's really disheartening, and you don't want to mentor more teams. When there's someone that's actually listening and learning, it's a great experience. I think anyone would love to mentor someone if they felt like the person they were mentoring was learning. However, if they're not interested, it makes it hard for the person doing the mentoring to stay interested. And there's a surprising amount of times that people aren't interested, even though they have to be mentored.
Yeah, but when there's a section on ETF for looking for mentor, I suspect that people actually keen for that. This is my little heart.
I think that there should be a section on ETF2L for asking questions from new players, or not even a dedicated
the
section
forums.
I don't know.
ETF2L has forums.
Sometimes.
I don't know. Maybe this could already be done by this, but it would be nice if new players were encouraged to go somewhere to ask questions about the game. And the place that people seem to go to ask questions about the game is True TF2.
Oh, yeah, they're separate.
And True TF2, in my experience, is the same question over and over and over about things.
How do I aim?
Yeah, things like that. And
aim practice.
And there's a simple answer for that. It's aim practice. How do I get into competitive? I'm a demo man. I've got 200 hours. Is this enough hours to get into competitive? You've got all, and it's not really somewhere that an experienced player would frequent. Maybe some do, but not.
I sometimes do.
A lot of people that are experienced won't frequent that, and as a result, you won't get many meaningful responses. I sometimes go on True TF2, mostly out of boredom, but it's not like a forum where you can go and get meaningful advice about learning Highlander, or I'm not sure sixes a lot. I feel like it's people are going there, can I get into the game? It's not people who are in open trying to learn more about the game. Does that make sense?
I imagine it's a lot of people who are sick of regular TF, like the TF2 subreddit and loads of memes, and want to ask a serious question, but they're new, so they still they use Reddit. They don't have any friends at the top to ask because they don't really know where else to go.
Yeah, I'd agree. So I'm just looking at it. Is MG a good way to practice? MG a good way to practice bad players? At what point should I consider competitive? How do I aim? tips for a new spy.
I answered to that one.
You know, like first, the top 3 are very standard ones. Anyway, sorry, Hammock.
I want to turn this tangent back, but it was a good tangent. So, Short Circuit. What are you guys' opinions? Should it be banned or unbanned for this season?
I think they should ban it. It makes payload defense very, very, very annoying.
I think they should ban it.
You have headshots.
No, not for me, but like when we want to clear the cart, we can't have a soldier bomb, we can't have the demo spam it. We have to send a scout or a spy to kill people on the cart if the NG has infinite ammo on it.
It stops people from doing roles that are very
Here's actually a pro tip. If you're on bad water and the NG is sitting on the cart pushing through tunnel, soldier, if he shoots the walls or the ceiling above the NG, it won't get hit by the short circuit and it will still damage him.
It's a very specific time that the short circuit can be countered. And like, for example, if it's very meta on upward third for a demo man to spam the cart with it, and that's how you deny the cart is if you have the demo man spamming it, stops people from getting up the slope. If the demo man, like this, the short circuit disrupts the meta, and it doesn't add new strategy to the game. It doesn't make the game more fun to play. It doesn't say, like, it just makes the game less fun for the demo man. It's not like you're you've done something.
So what you're saying is, engineer is like a second pyro.
Yes.
But like it's not like you have to the old shit short circuit. You had to time it really, really hard. The new one,
I like
just like basically hold
circuit.
Like if someone actually managed to use it, I'd be like really surprised.
I'm okay with short circuit being banned under the pretense that it's annoying to play against. I totally understand that. This game is for fun. But I don't think it's overpowered because in a game of Highlander where you have multiple instances of resources in play,
it's not.
If you see an engineer running at your demo man, short circuiting him, going, "Ha ha ha! What are you going to do now?" You can just have your heavy or scout shoot him. Like he should die immediately.
But
if you've got a team based entirely around a demo man who's getting countered by the short circuit, tokens, then you're bad.
Oh.
Don't most teams balance their teams around demo now? Like SDCK have Spelly,
that's why you have a Tommy
had
Slam
Emilio
sitting
or
in the back to kill the fucking NG.
I hate the new Tommy Slam meta. It's really annoying. You sit at the back and just
What's this, a spy being annoyed by a meta? It must be a good meta.
No, I meant like the one where the heavy just sits at the back and spams with the Tommy Slab is really annoying.
You mean Emilio Estevez?
Everyone seems to do it now. It's really like
Emilio.
Emilio is a very good player, and it's kind of annoying.
The reason that Emilio, in my opinion, plays so passively is because he knows that his aim isn't as good as the other heavies. He's a very good heavy.
His aim is really good though.
I thought his aim was pretty good.
If you look at heavies like Catman or Bacon,
we need to see the Scrambled versus Emilio 1v1 MG heavy.
Emilio wasn't a heavy that gave me a lot of problems for being particularly good at aiming, and I respect him a lot as a player. Don't get me wrong; I think he's
Emilio's very nice.
He's an incredibly good player.
Yeah, we should get him on here. He
also has no hair, doesn't he?
He's very well spoken,
but
he's bald.
He plays in
that's why he wears the banana hat.
He plays in a passive way, and I think people try to replicate it. And he plays in a way that favors him not having the most reliable aim, in my opinion. A lot of other heavies with better aim, who I would rate as being better heavies, a good example being Bacon, would play in a more aggressive position and do more work, just because they have better aim. I think the passive Emilio playstyle benefits people who don't have the aim, personally.
Okay, I want to bring us back. Okay, so resolve short circuit. You guys don't want it to exist. I'm okay with it existing, but at the same time, if people don't like it, fucking ban it. It's the same argument. If people find short circuit unfun, I'm okay with banning it, but also you should probably consider the dead ringer onto those pretenses. Okay, so since we're already like 50 minutes in, let's go on to the airstrike, since this should be pretty short, because I'm not sure if many people have actually played with it. I have seen Middle play it because I told him to use it, and I came up with a really cool strat that he refused to use, but he made up his own really cool strat. And basically it involves bad order first. You sit around the corner, where like the little lamp is, to go readying the soldier for the bomb. And he bombed with airstrike onto the medic. Except he used man treads, which is fucking amazing. Because basically, he jumped onto the medic and fired like 3 rockets and dropped him the first time and forced him the second time. And because of the man treads, the heavy and the sentry couldn't push him away. The pyro couldn't air blast him as much because man treads give you 75%.
Oh my god,
knockback
seeing the man
resistance.
treads using
So he
is
just
an
flies
amazing.
in, fucking no one can kill me, and then fucking kills the medic, and it's great. And
That's really
so
cool.
basically, airstrike in that situation, in terms of bombing, it's a better beggar's bazooka.
Mhm.
And in that case, do people
God.
have problems with that? Probably.
Yes, it was banned.
In my experience of playing with airstrike, both with the soldier on my team running it and playing against people running it, it is very good in one niche, and that is exactly the niche that you've talked about, where you bomb the medic and you hit your rockets. Does that, like, I don't know if that deserves a ban.
Bombing a medic is already pretty hard.
Yeah,
You have a pyro.
Depends on the
You have
depends on the
potentially a short
situation.
circuit, but NGs don't run that because they're shit.
Yeah. My experience with the airstrike was that no one was able to use it properly, or it's bad. One of the two. If you don't hit a direct rocket with it, you're hitting rockets for about 30, 40 damage. If you hit, like, as opposed to the normal rocket, where if it's not a direct or a good splash, you're hitting maybe 50, 60. And doing 30, 40 damage with 3 rockets, like doing 120 damage with a bomb, isn't really that good.
There's also the strat of, instead of using man treads like a true man, the middle treads, you could be using the base jumper, where you turn the corner to the cliff of Badwater, and the little like snaky corner that you can go around that heavies usually use to spin up. You can jump around that and then glide slowly around it using the base jumper, and during that time reload the rocket and then fire 4 rockets at the medic.
You forget
get denied.
about the sentry.
You would get denied.
And like, maybe again, this will be like most toxic in open again, or in mid or low mid. This could be like game breaking or
These are like thief
completely game
strats
changing for an open
or
or mid
lobby
game.
stompers.
This is the thing, a cheeky little play. I know what you mean, but like the problem is, like, we're just making it for like new players more cancerous to play actually than it is. Or it needs to be.
So since
a newer player would have to hit all of his rockets.
Yeah.
And
I mean, still,
at least you can significantly
jump.
emulsify a dispenser.
Yeah.
Emulsify, I like that word.
I
It's
mean,
great. Yes.
Use it more, please.
I feel like the soldier has enough unlocks at this point, in my opinion. I mean, like, he has
Soldier has a lot of
Italian's
choice.
backup
he has the
here.
black box, he has the backup, he has the Liberty launcher.
Yeah, that way you can
especially
run
for included
shotgun
middle,
more.
an important weapon. Yeah, like, this is so okay. The variety, like, you get what I mean. Like, if a medic, for example, doesn't run the crossbow he's throwing, same goes for the bone saw. I mean, for the, how's it called? Ubersaw. There we go.
Yeah.
The same goes when the heavy is running
That should
a
be one
Woolen
PT
heater.
and use the solemn vow. That way you can check the enemy medic's ubercharge and hopefully not get headshot.
Yeah. Crazy Callum Rock used it as well.
Yeah.
Or Callum, you want?
I
Like,
don't think we should ban the airstrike because it gives the soldier more options. Personally,
No, but like, I feel like the soldier has already enough, and I would like even bother with that.
You
Since
feel like
soldier,
the soldier has enough options, and this has potential to be game breaking, and he doesn't need.
It doesn't
add anything to the game.
no, like, it's
Okay.
like you said, it's like it's like a better beggars, and I feel like the beggars is like, at this point, I feel like everybody knows how to play against the beggars. Some people better, some people less.
Yeah, and the beggars does have the sort of. It's much harder to jump with than the.
It's
airstrike.
also
I mean, and
in
this
the
is
same situation as
what I say,
Diamondback, where it puts you at a disadvantage to someone who's already good at using the rocket launcher for bombing. But then if you're in the lower elos where you can just farm off the enemy, you can potentially snowball really hard with the airstrike by doing like the 8 rocket bomb.
Yeah. This is the point where I say, like, 8 rockets, come on, man. Beggars 3 rockets at once, that's enough, in my opinion. Like, the potential the airstrike has
Justice
is, like, huge, in my
reigns from
opinion.
above.
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, I get that
Meme,
reference.
Overwatch memes.
I think
but,
that,
like,
yeah, from that I would suggest that we allow it for a season. Same as my argument for the Diamondback. Allow it, see how it plays in lower divisions. Is it broken? Yes, no. It's not.
Oh my
Allow
god!
it.
Like,
If it is,
I want someone
ban
to
it.
rename their airstrike to
This is the
Magic
problem.
Missile. Oh my god! Every time you level up,
Seems
you
good.
get an extra missile. 8d4 damage. Oh.
This is like
Yeah,
the
Is
thing.
that a
I
Dungeons
think
and
a
Dragons?
auto
soldier
hits. You
should
don't
like.
have to roll for it. You just roll. You just do Magic Missile and it just auto hits someone.
Nice.
It's the problem on soldier. I think a soldier shouldn't harvest like people, you know, instead of like he should like. This is my opportunity, like a bit like Dima plays, you know. He jumps in when SDCK needs a certain pick, and like he throws his life for that away, but it's worth the effort. But imagine like the soldier would play a bit like a medic. He needs to stay alive to keep his 8 rockets, you know. And this is like what I say, like we're making the game like it's like in it's like for 10 seconds it's really intense since the soldier have 8 rockets and the pyro has one hell of a time deflecting all these 8 rockets.
Oh yeah, the Pyro like they nerfed the degreaser as well, so he doesn't even have enough
Yeah.
ammo.
This is the point, and like this is where I say like might as well just keep the beggars. Like I don't see any problem with the beggars at this point, but the airstrike is like it's enough. Like,
Okay. So,
we
what
don't
are your
need
guys' opinions on airstrike in the new whitelist?
Try it. Try it and see what
I would
happens.
say try it, but I understand why you would ban it because of it doesn't add anything to the game.
It
Yeah.
doesn't add anything, and it makes it a little bit harder for newer teams.
no need to, in my opinion, too much variety already for the soldier.
Okay. I personally think we can unban it. I think it's more of one of those flavor of the month things. Maybe we'll see hearts emulsify some people with the airstrike. Yeah, it's a great word, isn't it? I heard it in an advert
Cute
somewhere.
things,
I don't even know what it means.
A
It's like
multi-cast.
I think it's like a solvent thing. I don't know.
Just using it
Yeah, but
completely
it
wrong.
sounds good as an adjective. But yeah,
Yeah, it does.
yeah, it's like how Beggars is called dumpster device. It's just perfect. Okay,
So basically, it's either
Yeah,
it's
I
either
think it's
try
going to be a
it
flavor of the month
or
things where
ban
we're
it.
going to see one person use it to good extent, but other than that, people are just going to stay on the rocket launcher and black box.
Or original.
Yeah, if they want to be edgy.
Is the new black box still good?
I mean,
Yeah.
That's alright.
Contra
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, everything
gives
with
you
Punch
some
goes well, in
personal
my
sustain
opinion.
while you're building the banners.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what's the
So
next
yeah,
one?
since this recording has already gone on for an hour, I guess we can like just talk about Vigil and Coalplant. So I'll start off with Vigil.
Mhm.
And yeah, this was a new edition of the map. I personally think it's not as bad as the other experimental maps we played, like Alloy and Hadal.
What was the CP Steel one with multi-stage
Hadal.
last? That was really vertical.
oh, I know.
I
That's
remember
okay.
not doing a map talk for
Adele.
that one, and then like I posted a video of just us playing like the first round where we're like, yeah, we should just hold on B. B looks like a really good place, and then we'll hold there, and then the enemy team just run through A and cap B
Yeah, that
immediately,
was-
and we're just like, oh,
that was
this happens.
that was my team. That was my team
It was,
playing
it was
against
so funny.
I think I played for Super Dickmans. It was really fun to play Scout.
it. Yeah, I enjoyed it, though, but
Yeah.
onto Vigil. I don't know. I thought that all of the points feel kind of like they haven't been thought out from a Highlander perspective. How
I agree.
you hold the points hasn't really had much thought put into it. It's just like a point and it's been thrown at you, and then you work it out from there. A good example of this is first hold.
It's a throwaway.
Where do you hold? Where do you
It's a
hold?
throwaway
first
because
hold?
of the sniper
you
sideline.
You can not treat it as you can. It's like Borneo, but Borneo has more interactivity with it. Borneo, insofar as you can hold aggressively and try and hold a little bit longer, but you're having the risk of crossing the sniper sightline, or you can hold passively. You're not going to hold as much, then you don't have to cross the sniper sightline. This first hold has exactly the same thing, only it's worse. The aggressive hold, you're risking more. The passive hold, you can deny less. The first hold is just, it's not really got any good gameplay there, in my opinion. There's not really anything that adds there.
I do say I like third. If they would deny if they would cut the second area, you know, when you hold on the right side, like this is just too much. Like I remember playing against La Croze and Lico, the heavy of La Croze playing for them. We're like just sitting on top there through a how's it called? A quack shot, yeah?
Yeah.
Just constantly shooting everything. Oh,
Well,
there's too much to this map at third middle, there's too less on other. Like on first, there's too less to play on.
yeah.
And on third,
I feel like
there
it could
is
be
too
scaled
much.
down
Yeah.
a bit. First point is very open.
Second is the best
I-
point, in my opinion.
Second
played,
is,
like,
it has like
loads of
some
them.
variety. I like it. It has. Second is like something a bit like Badwater second. Like you don't want to risk something a lot of it, but you can
I
if you
think the
if
hill
you're good
hold
at
is
it.
very strong.
I feel like. Okay.
I played quite a lot of it. Like I promote for Failure on it and Super Dickman, so I got to play like both high and prem teams. Almost none of the map got used. It was pretty much just holding last. Sometimes you'd hold first for a bit, but just with your sniper and while they were pushing.
Yeah.
But like almost the entire map was the last point. Like I think we pushed first in like 6 minutes, and then we defended last for like 15, and it was like really boring in another game.
Yeah.
That's it. Most of the maps just like there's too many flanks. It's too open.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
From
it's
what
a bit
I've
weird.
played,
If we
Okay,
kill
you
like
go
some. Thank you. If we kill some flank areas on third, in my opinion, and might as well just cut last a bit out, like with like, and maybe we kill all the falling ground.
Just cut last. Just cut
What-
last and just have the game
What
ended.
made you lose the second holds in Prem games for them?
We didn't hold them. We just went back to
Didn't-
last and held
You
that.
just didn't bother because last was so good.
Like we soft holded them. Like we just kind of like stayed around. If we had an Uber charge, we'd run into them, get them to use, and then just hold for a bit. But we didn't like set up or anything.
Yeah.
We literally just held while we could. If anything was going wrong, we'd back out a little bit more, and there was another choke we could hold.
Yeah.
Like there's so many places to hold.
Right.
okay,
so-
from what
okay.
I've played of the map, and I only played maybe 2 or 3 games of Frosties, but I'd say we did pretty well. I managed to record all of the game and I might upload those at some point, but we did pretty well. And like first point, you kind of like, it's a throwaway because of the big sniper sight line, but you kind of hold with like an anti-air sentry gun. Second hold, you kind of hold the hill. You can kind of hold near the radio station, but it kind of separates you and makes it harder to back out. But it's better just to hold the hill because of the sniper sight line.
There's 2 stupid parts on second.
Yeah.
And these are the parts I don't like. On second, there's a big wooden box that you can jump on top of. I don't like that. I think actually there'd be not like a wall, or it should be a house that you can't jump on top of, or like a pillar or something. It shouldn't be. You shouldn't be able to get on top of that. And on the left of said house, from Red's perspective, there's a huge sniper sight line, and I don't think that should exist either. It just makes the pushing it's just a really powerful sniper sight line that stops you from pushing up, or if you can't remove the sniper from, like the ultimate sort of turtle sniper sort of stop.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I think it's a good point. Everything else about it seems like a decent second point. Not too strong, but strong enough to get a minute out of.
There is the third point after that, which is pretty interesting, where you like can hold sort of the lobby area, and then have the sentry that is like on high ground, so anyone pushing lower gets shot in the legs, kind of like the Dust Bowl second point push, where you push through the tunnel and then get shot in the legs.
The problem with third is if you're playing against, if you either do the aggressive hold, in which case you're backing out in front of a sniper, which isn't ideal, or you're doing the passive hold, in which case there's about 3 flanks to go through.
The outer flank on the right, all the way around the cliff, is a bit unnecessary.
Yeah, it's the amount of flanks on third is.
The amount of flanks on last is
and
crazy. That don't even go anywhere.
Last
Like,
has way too
The
many
amount
places.
of flanks on like last is like London, where there's just roads that don't go anywhere.
Yeah, like the under area doesn't add very much to last at all. There's the whole sort of under basement area. The only thing you can really do with it is if someone's holding the room that we've dubbed Red Room, which I'm assuming you'll know what I'm on about, you can sort of sneak in from under behind them. But that's the kind of silly place to push anyway. Like and then you've got the underflank, you've got the Red Room, you've got main, you've got going normally, you've got the whole cliff. It's so stupid. Like
It's just too much.
Yeah.
Like you need to worry about. Excuse me. You need to worry about way too much.
And
At second on last.
on
and third.
top of that, the sniper on last has a lot of is very easy for the sniper.
The sniper can see every single flank,
And you can see
almost
inside
all
the
of them.
sentry.
There's a sentry. The whole room's tiny, so it's impossible to counter a spy because the sentry and his entire team's there.
Yeah, the sentry can shoot pretty much everything in that last area.
It's way too small for 18 people. It's a sixes last. It's even small for sixes. Like, what's the weird season one? The one that looks like DE season from CS:GO.
Got it.
That last point's huge. Honorary last point's massive. Badlands last point is bigger.
Yeah, I would compare it to Badlands last, and even then, Badlands is bigger because it's got the whole different height levels.
Badlands makes more sense though because at least the choke points are held off. The sniper in it though, on this one can see everywhere for no downside at all.
If I'm looking the furthest right hand sight line, it takes me roughly 3 seconds to rotate to the furthest left hand sight line, and in that entire time, you can get buffed by your medic, and there's a sentry gun right next to you. Yeah, it's just silly. A sniper pick is huge on this map, and it's very hard to get. It's only really obtainable through sniper versus sniper.
Yeah, I would say like open up last a bit more, like make it bigger, scale it bigger.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a map designer. Just do last, not that cornered. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and even like if you do try to SVS, the defending sniper will always have the opportunity, like the advantage, because he'll get called. The offensive one will get called.
And get spammed. It's very hard to spam the defensive sniper. It's very easy to spam the offensive sniper.
They need to work on this part. Like I think like first and second is alright. I mean, no point is optimal, in my opinion. Not upward, not badward or something. You know, I would say like if they work on third a bit, making third a bit like closer. You know, like open up, kill the flanks, the 3 flanks. In my opinion, scale it down to like 2.
Yeah.
I would be fine with that.
I liked the concept of Red Room. I liked that forward hold on last. That was something.
It was.
I think that if they expanded on that and made the actual last area bigger, it would be nice. Because I really like it's similar to Upward last, where you got the sort of forward hold there. I liked that, and I wish that that was more viable.
You remember against La Crosa when we dropped down on La Crosa from last and walked behind them through that under area?
Yeah.
Where this was like situational, since we just had this idea, and we went behind them pretty much like because they couldn't see us, since this was like completely covered by the other area of the thing, and just went on their flank part.
Yeah, I went behind them without them seeing us.
I think we pushed by that, right? And we won the map by that. I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Like we were able to get behind them because there were so many flanks.
And they watched like everything correctly, in my opinion. Like they watched the tracks, the wet room. I think Kufle was in the wet room.
Yeah, and we had a successful last push because there were too many flanks to watch.
Yeah, like we just pretty much went behind them as an entire combo that shouldn't be like, okay, maybe bad work of Cypher or their scout. Okay, you can call it everything, but like I think if I think Beast was even with us with Gold.
Yeah, soldier.
If 5 people can rotate behind and last, this is something you need to consider.
Yeah. Like the actual last area is very small, but outside of the last area, it's loads of flanks.
So much. Yeah. Like you can do so much cheeky stuff.
Okay, so with PL Vigil, what are your guys' opinions? Would you like to see PL Vigil run in a season?
No.
Not this version.
Okay, but do you think it has potential?
It seems like a decent map.
I want a new, interesting payload map. It looks really, really unique, so if they fix it, it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
It would also be nice if they fix the spawn, so every time blue team capped a point, red team didn't instantly respawn.
I think, actually, you know what they could do to fix last? Right now, I think last red team spawns in like 4 seconds. Make it like 15 seconds, and the map will be a lot better.
Yeah.
So guy who made Payload Vigil, keep working on it. It's got potential.
Kill yourself. I mean,
wow.
Nah, I hate the map name though. It sounds retarded.
You know what vigil means? Like it's like standing vigil. Like
there's so many flanks, you have to stay vigilant. Okay, so let's go on to Coal Plant.
Okay.
So, what's your guys' opinions on Coal Plant versus Asheville? Do you prefer Coal Plant to Asheville?
Coal Plant is hell, and it should be removed from this game.
I think I'm the only one here that likes it.
I have no clue about I feel like Coal Plant is like a bit just like who has the better sniper wins the game, in my opinion, a bit.
I hate it so
I
much.
mean, I have to consider. I mean, you need to watch out for that a bit. I mean, like that you're pushing through main from both teams, like collapsing on each other on that point. With the meta, pretty much is we all pushing through the fucking shatter, since this is the fastest way to go in there.
Yeah.
Also,
It's like whether does your sniper get lucky and see the medic first, in my opinion. This is like so. It's like
So you don't like it for
it
mid
comes
fight
down to skill pretty much. I hate the mid fights of that.
because the shutter is
Like,
the
it's
most competitive way to
since
contest
I
it.
played medic in
Yeah.
this cup, every time I went for share, I was like, please don't drop me.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do something about it. Like, this was just an open
Whereas on
area.
Asheville, you would go through the
But
shutter.
it's
really.
like more viable to go instantly and have an underfight and stuff
Yeah.
like that. What I kind of like, since this is quite cornered, it has something to it. Who is first under? The other team has they are slower, so
and
they
if
have
you
a
are,
bit of a
and
high
if you
ground.
aren't go at first under, yeah, it's like it's quite a dynamic mid fight. I agree that the Asheville
Yeah,
mid fight is better. I agree with
Asheville, on Cold Plant, they remove almost all the fun aspects of Asheville, which is like everything. It becomes a huge open box. It's like a huge open box. It's almost like if Lakeside was worse. It's really, really open. It's really, really huge. The map makes me look depressed, but that's nothing. That's irrelevant. The lobby's
I mean, okay,
the
it's
only
really
good part
grey,
about
I
it.
agree. It's really boring.
It's really boring to look at, yeah. But like what do you call it? The balcony. They destroyed that area. It's horrible now. The underside's way too huge.
You mean
open.
sniper
Yeah, the
deck?
sniper deck and the bit under it. That whole it's atrocious. Like, oh god, don't.
You mean the heavy crack shot area?
Yeah, there's a place that you can just sit in and spam in. Like, they clearly didn't think about that because it's made for sixes. Like, it's a sixes version of the
you
map.
can
It
do
shouldn't
like
be
the
played in
fast
Highlander.
soldier rollout onto Battlement.
Yeah, great in sixes though. Like, huge and open. You can see where everyone is. Highlander, it's atrocious because like there's more than just the soldier, scout, demo, and medic. There's nowhere to flank to. There's no ammo packs. There's very, very few health packs. There's almost no flanks to go.
Yeah.
Underside is atrocious. There's no ammo down there as well for some reason. So you can't hold there with like a heavy or a combo like you can on
Or in
Asheville.
Mini's entry.
Yeah.
Maybe I like it because I'm a heavy man, so I'm gonna give it a go at defending
So-
it. I was the original one that I think that suggested using Cold Plant to the admin.
Scrambled,
so
no!
you can,
We were
you
friends!
can blame me.
We were getting on so well.
But, yeah, my view on Cold Plant, and if this is just the downsides of maybe this is from a heavy perspective, is that it is more viable to hold on the point. Simply because of the sniper sightlines. You can hold on the point without peeking literally every sniper sightline on the map. And I think that's a huge thing.
The thing
I'll
is,
actually load it up. Hold on.
what we had on Copen was like the sniper called from Bees or Banquo or whoever on Cold Plant where is there. Like my entire open squad just rushes on the point, left and side, like, hey, we are here now. Come back with your sniper.
Yeah.
Like this is like Cold Plant 3-0 against latency issues.
Um,
This went like on for 3 rounds. Like it was just sniper down, move to the point, we can fuck him now, you know? This is just a sniper map, since this map is like you can pretty much only peek from the right side, in my opinion, like from your perspective, like where the coal actually lays,
yeah,
you know?
sort of the amount of coal there, yeah.
Yeah. This is just like a coal thing, I don't know. It looks for me at least like it. Like the sniper there's so much to look on. The soldier stands right side, and when the sniper's down, you just press on the point and say like, oh shit, what up, my
Nice.
dudes? You don't have a sniper, come back in 10 seconds, please.
Well,
Like, it's just like sniper bed.
the other thing about Cold Plant, which I like, and this is probably why Woolen doesn't like it being a spy lane, because obviously on the flank, is you can't flank behind easily.
No, it's all for flanking.
I like that.
There's also
because
nowhere to
if
defloak
you-
on it
Okay, I wouldn't know about that.
at all.
But
I mean, the map is kind of grey. Everybody sees a decloak instantly, like on like maps like they're like really like they're like sunny, like CP Sunshine, for example.
yeah,
Like if the enemy spy, like let's say like decloaks, like I feel like I don't see spies like on maps like Swiftwater could, like because it's like the thing.
It's
you know,
not high
like it
contrast.
fits with the area a bit. Exactly, but on Conan, everything
Also
is
on Cold Plant,
grey.
there's loads of people looking at one point. If so much as one of them looks in your direction, they'll immediately spot you, and there's nowhere you can go.
Exactly.
Right.
Like this is the thing. I feel like to play fair for a spy on a map, we should have like never a snowy map. Like okay, we tried that in like in a thing, I think on UGC on Platinum they had like a
Yeah,
snow map?
it became Warmtic. It was Arctic.
No, not Arctic.
Warm-
This
Was
was
it Millstone?
Front.
this was
Not Warm
Payload.
Front.
Was this Millstone?
Oh yeah, Millstone.
Yeah, Millstone. There we go. Like, and I feel like I played it. I merked for Xenon there, and the spy, regardless who it was, you instantly saw the decloak when you turned around. Like, oh, this is the spy. Let's shoot that guy.
Right.
I mean, okay, I can agree that I don't want to see on any maps, like, I don't know, like, everywhere rainbow so the spy can decloak, you know, there should be bad decloak spots, in my opinion. Every map should have a bit
Coal
of
plant
gray.
has nowhere.
I'm
It's
not
way
like-
too open and there's no ammo packs.
Okay.
It's like,
So-
it's like fucking
Right.
gold.
I'm gonna defend Coal Plant for one more thing, and I'm not saying that your point's invalid. I'm saying this would maybe be a change I would like to see in a future version of Asheville. God's sake, I just completely lost my train of thought. It has the good. What was that I liked about it? It has the really good flanks. And Christ, there's something else. Yeah, I don't feel like. Yeah, I don't feel like the under sort of the point thing works very well. I don't like it to be like a viable place to be. Like I don't feel like there should be two parts of a King of the Hill point you should be holding. If you look at every other King of the Hill map, there isn't really an easy way to flank. Like if you get through the flank, it's through like a lot of skill. And in Coal Plant, that holds true. In Asheville, it doesn't. It's very easy for the flank to get behind. You can get behind easier on Coal Plant still than any other map, in my opinion. Any other map, the Koth map, other than Asheville. And I don't mind that being a niche of the map, but it's not very nice to play on.
What I would say, if we take like the Coal Plant entrance,
Yeah.
and put it on the actual Asheville, you know? Like, might as well just stretch a bit shadow, so I don't like shadow, to be honest, so I really don't like that. So, might as well just stretch it a bit out, but keep the midpoint
So you would like
from actual
you would
Asheville.
like the Asheville
Like-
midpoint. The
Yes.
Asheville, the Coal.
But the rollout for left and side
so
and shadows
Coal
should be
Plant
Coal
and maybe
Plant.
more ammo packs and stuff.
Way
More
more.
ammo
Okay,
packs and health packs.
So
Like, I played Engineer on Coal Plant, I was like looking for like 2 minutes straight. Can I get that ammo pack? No, my soldier just told me that. Shit, let's run to
So
spawn, it's fast.
this is the constructive feedback if the maker of Coal Plant was listening. So you guys want it to just be more like Asheville in the midpoint? Woolen, do you have any
The
constructive?
lobby change was
Like a bigger
nice.
under.
The midpoint, the under, and the balcony is atrocious.
Okay. I have constructive feedback, and that is firstly, spawns need to be smaller so that when you spawn, you
everyone-
actually know what side you're
Yeah.
on. So that when you spawn, you walk out and you're like 50-50 chance I get the spawn that has the telly,
Yeah.
and that 50-50 chance that you spawn as a medic next to your demo so you can actually heal him. So make the spawns a lot smaller and make it so
This
you
is the
don't
thing.
spawn on two separate sides. That would be nice.
Exactly. Maybe just one
Other
shadow like the
constructive
actual
feedback
spawn
when you get
as
out
well.
of spawn and there's that like little train prop in the way, get that the fuck out of there, because when you're walking out of spawn you're just trying to jump over something. Like if you're walking out of spawn you're just going to bump into that and it's going to slow you down.
Yeah, the
And
train doesn't need to
there's
be
no
there.
point it being there besides wasting your time trying to jump over it.
They could maybe clip it in a different way, like add like stairs up
Yeah.
to the train.
Okay,
Make
there
it a
can be
ramp,
more
just
ammo
walk over
packs.
Yeah.
Underneath is a throwaway, especially since the right side of underneath, where there's the sort of like tape decks and stuff on the walls, those you can't splash with rockets. The rockets just disappear into them, which is annoying if you're a soldier, because if you're trying to play the high ground in underneath and someone's near the walls, you can't splash the walls and kill them. Ironically, the underneath filled with water is devoid of splash. And my final other constructive feedback on the map is that when you're on left side, which is the predominant place for you to hold because the sniper can just sit there and snipe everybody, the little side battlement on there is very strong for wrangled minis. I noticed pretty much every NG was just wrangled mini spam on that. You'd have the sniper there, the Tomislav heavy there, the wrangled minis, and you're pretty much set. That's the hold. There's no point holding battlement. Flank soldier and scout is going to be there. You're just going to have passive hold on there and then just deny every single jumper. So I think that battlement should probably be either nerfed or removed. So that's my constructive feedback for that. So I guess closing thoughts on Coal Plant, either in its current state,
bad for Highlander.
either if Coal Plant is in its current state, or if it gets changed. Are you guys okay with it being in the season?
I don't like it. Ash feels better.
Yes. If they change it a bit up like Ash will, or like actually use Ash,
Okay.
you know, I wouldn't mind both. I say like both maps has that down and upgrade, but I would prefer Ash probably as well since I like the under push.
I don't like either of them. Then in the current state, I like Coal Plant for heavy, right? In my experience of playing, but I would like a version of it, nowadays. Like having heard the points Woolen's made, I would like a version of Asheville that you can get behind as easily on. It takes a little bit more skill or coordination to get behind on. It's kind of in the current states. No, I wouldn't want it either.
I would personally say I prefer Asheville, but that's just because I see more flaws with Coal Plant.
I think like we all like can agree that both maps has a lot of flaws, and if we combine both maps, I think we would kill.
It's not like a
pretty much
cut and dry. This map is better. It's more like we should find like a happy medium between them.
Yeah. If we cut like both maps in half, like 50-50, we would have actually a nice King of the Hill map, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, Ash Coal, call it like you want.
Yeah.
Like
Trashville.
Take the spawn system of Asheville and the Trashville sounds like a great payload map, actually.
And it's just like instead of the like
some
coal like containers, it's just filled with piles of money. Cashville. Let's do it. Yeah. That way it isn't grey everywhere, it's just green everywhere.
Yeah, payload cash. Can we just call it payload super cash?
Cashworks.
Because it's just a great map.
Cashworks like drops your frame rate so much.
Okay, so to round this up, closing words. This has been an interesting podcast or whatever. It's over an hour. Do you guys want? Do you guys have any shout outs before we end?
Shout out to Hammock for editing this.
Yeah, this is going to be something to do.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Do you have any shout outs? Scrambled.
You should edit it, I suppose. I don't know if else to shout out.
Do you have a YouTube channel, a Twitter, a Twitch.tv?
I'm not gonna just youtube.com/scrambled. There you go.
I heard Scrambled streams at twitch.tv/Woolen Sleevelet. I don't know why.
I don't know. I don't like plugging.
Woolen Sleevelet, do you have any shout outs? I heard you're a not so popular spy main.
No, it's fine. It's good. Good luck like editing this. That's it.
Yeah,
that's
seriously.
It.
Shout out to Hammock's editing program.
Shout out to Audacity.
Yeah.
I have actually some.
You actually pay for Audacity?
No, I actually have a shout out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out to La Croza for not scrimming us anymore.
Oh my god. Well, that's good.
I'm going to do shout outs. Shout out to me on all platforms, the Hammock production, because I have brand identity, and the Hammock production is way too fucking long. And
wait, what's your thing called?
And shout out to Moist for being able to participate in a cup that he is also running at the same time.
Oh yeah, that's probably pretty hard to do.
Shout out to the Batman, exactly.
Nice. Yeah. Shout out to Shaggy's damage. Yeah.
This is an overused meme already. Shout out to Vclock's Overwatch carrier. How about that?
Okay.
Is that it then? We're done.
Okay. Thank you for watching this interesting podcast. We will all see you next time. Say goodbye.
Meme.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Oh, Hammock, you hate the Eskimo people. Jesus Christ.